Secretary Jen Psaki refusing to answer our own Peter Doocy as he presses her on the White House's opposition to Florida's parental rights law.
One about this new law in Florida. At what age does the White House think that students should be taught about sexual orientation and gender identity?
We have spoken to the Don't Say Gay bill in the past.
Does the White House support that kind of classroom instruction before kindergarten?
Do you have examples of schools in Florida that are teaching kindergarteners about sex education? I think that's a relevant question.
Here to react, Dr. Carol Swain, Distinguished Senior Fellow for Constitutional Studies at the Texas Public Policy Foundation and former professor at Princeton and Vanderbilt. Dr. Swain, great to have you. Isn't that exchange the perfect, absolutely perfect microcosm of this story? Liberals want to fight this thing because it is the thing to fight, but they refuse to get into any specifics whatsoever.
Well, the first thing, she repeated the lie that it's a don't say gay bill. And so she distorted what it's about. And, you know, I could have answered her question very easily because during the Obama administration, that's when you saw kindergartners begin to be taught about sexual education aggressively and also about homosexuality through some of the curriculums pushed by the CDC. And so it's been around for a while. Parents are just becoming aware of it.
But also, if you go that next level and actually look at the text of this bill, it doesn't say anything about gay rights. It doesn't say anything. I mean, we've seen people, that gay Disney employee who came out and wrote that Substack article that basically said, this is not my fight. You know, we have fought long and hard for gay rights in this country. This Florida bill is not my fight. There shouldn't be this hullabaloo about it, but there is. So, you know, this story's not going away, and I think the parties are entrenched. It's going to be fascinating to see where it goes. Want to get your thoughts on this because, again, you taught at Princeton, an Ivy League school. None of America's 8 Ivy League universities invited conservatives to speak at graduation ceremonies this year. Instead, they're turning to liberals, the Biden administration officials. What happened to a well-rounded education, Dr. Swain?
Well, I can tell you again, that's something that you can trace back to the Obama years when conservative speakers started getting excluded and disinvited. And I think now that most institutions that are secular, they don't want to deal with protesters. They're trying to appease the loudest voices. And so even if they were inclined to have diverse viewpoints on campus, they're not willing to offend the students who would be most disruptive. I mean, education suffers as a result.
Yeah, I mean, look, I went to one of these schools. I went to the one up in New Hampshire. You taught at one, the one in New Jersey. But is the usefulness of a college degree, including these high-level college degrees coming from the Ivy League, is it useful anymore? I mean, I just wonder what you're doing when you come out. Yeah.
I think it's worthless and it's destructive for our society because, as we can see, these individuals with Ivy League degrees end up on the Supreme Court. They end up in Congress. They become editors of major newspapers, and they don't have a well-rounded education. They're not critical thinkers, and so we suffer as a result. We need to get away from those institutions where they are nothing but indoctrination mills.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for. I wanted to get into that school that I went to so badly, and I don't know if it was the best decision. There you go. Dr. Carol Swain, we appreciate your time and insight this morning. Thanks so much for elucidating us on these topics.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.